Let's get ready for the Missouri real estate exam with 100 questions covering state-specific laws, principles, and practices you'll need to know. And don't miss what's happening in the bottom corner. It could be key to your exam prep. We'll tell you how in a minute. Now, let's get started.
Let's jump right into Missouri real estate laws and regulations. We'll start with an overview of Missouri real estate statutes. What is the primary purpose of the Missouri Real Estate Commission? Is it A, to enforce real estate laws and protect the public interest? B, to provide legal advice to real estate agents? C, to set property prices in the Missouri market? Or D, to offer financial assistance to homebuyers? The answer is A, to enforce real estate laws and protect the public interest. The MREC is responsible for enforcing real estate laws in Missouri, ensuring compliance and protecting the public interest by regulating the real estate industry. Under Missouri real estate statutes, what is required for a salesperson to legally practice? Is it A, a personal real estate website? B, a minimum of 5 years of experience? C, a license from the Missouri Real Estate Commission? Or D, membership in the National Association of Realtors? The answer is C, a license from the Missouri Real Estate Commission. A salesperson must be licensed by the MREC and work under a licensed broker to legally practice in Missouri, ensuring they adhere to state regulations.
Have you noticed the code in the bottom corner? Next time you're stumped, take that code to birdsey.ai for immediate help and a free study session with Birdsey, your personal AI study partner. Plus, you'll get access to hundreds of additional questions, helping you move closer to passing your exam with confidence. The next time you're feeling unsure or stuck, give it a try.
What is the consequence of practicing real estate in Missouri without a license? Is it A, a warning from the Missouri Real Estate Commission? B, fines and legal penalties? C, automatic licensure upon completion of a course? Or D, a temporary suspension of activities? The answer is B, fines and legal penalties. Practicing without a license is illegal and can result in fines, legal action, and penalties as it violates Missouri real estate statutes designed to protect consumers. What is the legal requirement for disclosing a property's condition under Missouri real estate statutes? Is it A, no disclosure is required? B, only structural defects must be disclosed? C, all known material defects must be disclosed? Or D, disclosure is only required if asked by the buyer? The answer is C, all known material defects must be disclosed. Missouri law requires sellers to disclose any known material defects in the property. This ensures that buyers are aware of potential issues that could affect the property's value or safety. Under Missouri statutes, what is required for a real estate licensee to represent both buyer and seller in a transaction? Is it A, written consent from both parties? B, verbal agreement from both parties? C, no additional requirements? Or D, approval from the Missouri Real Estate Commission? The answer is A, written consent from both parties. Dual agency in Missouri requires written consent from both parties. This ensures transparency and that all parties understand the potential conflicts of interest involved. Missouri-specific fair housing laws. Under Missouri fair housing laws, which of the following is considered a protected class? Is it A, familial status? B, occupation? C, political affiliation? Or D, education level? The answer is A, familial status. Missouri fair housing laws protect classes such as race, color, religion, national origin, sex, familial status, and disability. These protections ensure equal housing opportunities for all individuals. What is the maximum penalty for a first-time violation of Missouri's fair housing laws? Is it A, $5,000, B, $16,000, C, $25,000, or D, $50,000? The answer is B, $16,000. The maximum penalty for a first-time violation of Missouri's fair housing laws can be up to $16,000. This serves as a deterrent to prevent discrimination in housing practices. Which agency is responsible for enforcing Missouri's fair housing laws? Is it A, Missouri Department of Revenue, B, Missouri Housing Development Commission, C, Missouri Commission on Human Rights, or D, Missouri Department of Social Services? The answer is C, Missouri Commission on Human Rights. The Missouri Commission on Human Rights is tasked with enforcing the state's fair housing laws, ensuring that discrimination in housing is addressed and prevented. In Missouri, which of the following actions is prohibited under fair housing laws? Is it A, setting rental prices, B, conducting background checks, C, requesting security deposits, or D, refusing to rent to a family with children? The answer is D, refusing to rent to a family with children. Refusing to rent to a family with children is prohibited under Missouri fair housing laws. These laws protect against discrimination based on familial status. Missouri-specific contract requirements. What is required for a real estate contract to be considered legally binding in Missouri? Is it A, a verbal agreement, B, mutual consent and consideration, C, a witness signature, or D, a notary public signature? The answer is B, mutual consent and consideration. In Missouri, a real estate contract must include mutual consent, lawful purpose, competent parties, consideration, and be in writing to be legally binding. Which of the following is a unique requirement for Missouri real estate contracts? Is it A, a survey of the property, B, a title insurance policy, C, a legal description of the property, or D, a financing contingency clause? The answer is C, a legal description of the property. Missouri requires that all real estate contracts include a legal description of the property, ensuring clarity and avoiding disputes over property boundaries. In Missouri, what is the minimum requirement for the earnest money deposit in a real estate contract? Is it A, 1% of the purchase price, B, $1,000, C, 5% of the purchase price, or D, no statutory minimum? The answer is D, no statutory minimum. Missouri does not set a minimum amount for earnest money deposits. It is negotiable between the buyer and seller, depending on the terms of the agreement. What is the time frame for delivering the earnest money deposit after a contract is signed in Missouri? Is it A, as specified in the contract, B, immediately upon signing, C, within 3 business days, or D, within 10 business days? The answer is A, as specified in the contract. Missouri requires that earnest money be deposited within a reasonable time frame, typically defined in the contract, often within 5 business days of contract acceptance. How does Missouri law require real estate contracts to address lead-based paint for properties built before 1978? Is it A, include an inspection clause, B, provide a lead-based paint disclosure, C, offer a lead hazard insurance policy, or D, conduct a mandatory lead removal? The answer is B, provide a lead-based paint disclosure. Missouri law requires that sellers provide a lead-based paint disclosure for properties built before 1978, ensuring buyers are informed about potential lead hazards.
If you're finding this helpful, please take a minute to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, useful tips, and complimentary study sessions with Birdsey.
Let's continue with licensing requirements, and procedures. Missouri licensing requirements and procedures. What is the minimum age requirement to apply for a real estate license in Missouri? Is it A, 18 years old, B, 21 years old, C, 17 years old, or D, 19 years old? The answer is A, 18 years old. In Missouri, applicants must be at least 18 years old to apply for a real estate license. This requirement ensures that applicants are legally considered adults capable of entering into binding contracts. How many hours of pre-license education are required to become a real estate salesperson in Missouri? Is it A, 60 hours, B, 48 hours, C, 72 hours, or D, 80 hours? The answer is C, 72 hours. Missouri requires a total of 72 hours of pre-license education, including 48 hours of salesperson pre-examination course and 24 hours of Missouri real estate practice course. What is the passing score for the Missouri real estate licensing exam? Is it A, 65% on both portions, B, 80% on both portions, C, 75% on both portions, or D, 70% on national and 75% on state? The answer is D, 70% on national and 75% on state. To pass the Missouri real estate licensing exam, candidates must score at least 70% on the national portion and 75% on the state portion. Which of the following is a requirement for obtaining a broker's license in Missouri? Is it A, completion of 48 hours of pre-license education, B, at least 2 years of active salesperson experience, C, passing the salesperson exam with 85%, or D, being at least 21 years old? The answer is B, at least 2 years of active salesperson experience. Applicants for a broker's license in Missouri must have at least 2 years of active salesperson experience or equivalent education experience, ensuring they possess adequate industry knowledge. Continuing education requirements. What is the minimum number of continuing education hours required for a real estate license renewal in Missouri? Is it A, 6 hours, B, 9 hours, C, 12 hours, or D, 15 hours? The answer is C, 12 hours. Missouri requires real estate licensees to complete 12 hours of continuing education every 2 years. This ensures that professionals stay updated with current laws and practices. Which of the following topics is mandatory for continuing education in Missouri real estate? Is it A, Missouri real estate law, B, advanced marketing strategies, C, international real estate transactions, or D, real estate technology tools? The answer is A, Missouri real estate law. Missouri requires that a core course on Missouri real estate law be included in the continuing education curriculum, ensuring licensees understand state-specific regulations. How often must Missouri real estate licensees complete their continuing education requirements? Is it A, annually, B, biennially, C, every 3 years, or D, every 5 years? The answer is B, biennially. Continuing education in Missouri must be completed every 2 years. This biennial requirement helps ensure that licensees remain knowledgeable about current real estate practices and regulations. What happens if a Missouri real estate licensee fails to complete the required continuing education by the renewal date? Is it A, they receive a fine, B, they are given a grace period, C, their license is automatically renewed, or D, their license becomes inactive? The answer is D, their license becomes inactive. Failure to complete the required continuing education by the renewal date results in the licensee being unable to renew their license, effectively putting it in an inactive status until requirements are met. Missouri-specific exam structure and content. What is the minimum passing score required for the Missouri Real Estate Salesperson exam? Is it A, 65%, B, 70%, C, 75%, or D, 80%? The answer is B, 70%. To pass the Missouri Real Estate Salesperson exam, candidates must score at least 70%. This ensures that individuals have a sufficient understanding of real estate laws and practices specific to Missouri. Which of the following is a key focus area in the Missouri-specific real estate exam content? Is it A, federal fair housing laws, B, environmental regulations, C, Missouri Real Estate Commission rules, or D, property appraisal methods? The answer is C, Missouri Real Estate Commission rules. The Missouri-specific real estate exam emphasizes state-specific laws and regulations, ensuring candidates have a comprehensive understanding of local practices and legal requirements unique to Missouri. Which of the following topics is not covered in the Missouri-specific real estate exam? Is it A, Missouri fair housing laws, B, Missouri agency relationships, C, Missouri license law, or D, federal antitrust laws? The answer is D, federal antitrust laws. The Missouri-specific exam focuses on state laws and regulations. Federal antitrust laws are covered in the national portion, not the Missouri-specific exam. What is the time limit for completing the Missouri-specific portion of the real estate exam? Is it A, 90 minutes, B, 60 minutes, C, 120 minutes, or D, 150 minutes? The answer is A, 90 minutes. Candidates have 90 minutes to complete the Missouri-specific portion of the real estate exam. This time frame allows for thorough consideration of each question. Let's continue with a review of Missouri property ownership and land use. First, let's look at types of property ownership. In Missouri, what type of property ownership allows multiple owners to hold equal shares with the right of survivorship? Is it A, tenancy in common, B, fee simple, C, joint tenancy, or D, leasehold estate? The answer is C, joint tenancy. Joint tenancy in Missouri allows two or more people to own equal shares of a property with the right of survivorship, meaning upon the death of one owner, their share automatically passes to the surviving owner. Which type of property ownership in Missouri involves a temporary right to possess and use land, typically for a specific duration? Is it A, fee simple, B, joint tenancy, C, tenancy in common, or D, leasehold estate? The answer is D, leasehold estate. A leasehold estate grants tenants the right to use and occupy land or property for a defined period as specified in a lease agreement without transferring ownership. What is the primary characteristic of a fee simple estate in Missouri? Is it A, absolute ownership with indefinite duration, B, shared ownership with survivorship rights, C, temporary rights to use property, or D, ownership that reverts to grantor upon death? The answer is A, absolute ownership with indefinite duration. A fee simple estate represents the most complete form of ownership, granting the owner full control over the property indefinitely, subject only to government powers like taxation. In Missouri, what distinguishes tenancy in common from joint tenancy? Is it A, equal shares and right of survivorship, B, unequal shares with no survivorship rights, C, temporary possession rights, or D, ownership limited to family members? The answer is B, unequal shares with no survivorship rights. Tenancy in common allows owners to hold unequal shares and does not include the right of survivorship, meaning an owner's interest can be inherited by heirs. Public versus private land use controls. Which of the following is a public land use control in Missouri? Is it A, deed restrictions, B, easements, C, zoning ordinances, or D, homeowners association rules? The answer is C, zoning ordinances. Zoning ordinances are public land use controls implemented by local governments to regulate land use and ensure orderly development, balancing community needs with private property rights. What is the primary purpose of Missouri's comprehensive land use plan? Is it A, to guide future growth and development, B, to enforce building codes, C, to set property tax rates, or D, to restrict private property rights? The answer is A, to guide future growth and development. The Comprehensive Land Use Plan guides future growth and development, ensuring that land use aligns with community goals, infrastructure capacity, and environmental preservation. What role do covenants play in private land use controls in Missouri? Is it A, they define zoning classifications, B, they impose restrictions on land use, C, they establish public parks, or D, they regulate utility services? The answer is B, they impose restrictions on land use. Covenants are legally binding promises in deeds or contracts that restrict how land can be used, often to maintain property values and community standards. How do eminent domain laws affect private property in Missouri? Is it A, they restrict land sales, B, they increase property taxes, C, they enforce environmental regulations, or D, they allow government acquisition for public use? The answer is D, they allow government acquisition for public use. Eminent domain allows the government to acquire private property for public use with compensation, balancing individual property rights with the community's needs for infrastructure and services.
Stuck on a question? Just think of the Birdsey link in the description as your friendly neighborhood superhero swooping in to save the day with answers. Feel free to explore it now and return to continue. Simply hit pause, and we'll be waiting when you get back.
Land use and zoning laws. In Missouri, what is the primary purpose of zoning laws? Is it A, to increase property taxes, B, to regulate land use and ensure orderly development, C, to control building aesthetics, or D, to provide public amenities? The answer is B, to regulate land use and ensure orderly development. Zoning laws in Missouri are designed to regulate land use and ensure orderly development. They help separate incompatible uses, such as industrial and residential, to promote community welfare. In Missouri, what is the primary purpose of a zoning ordinance? Is it A, to increase property taxes, B, to promote agricultural activities, C, to regulate land use and ensure orderly development, or D, to provide public utilities? The answer is C, to regulate land use and ensure orderly development. Zoning ordinances in Missouri are designed to regulate land use to ensure orderly development, protect property values, and enhance the quality of life by segregating incompatible land uses. What is a variance in the context of Missouri zoning laws? Is it A, a change in zoning classification, B, an increase in property taxes, C, permission to deviate from zoning requirements, or D, a type of zoning ordinance? The answer is C, permission to deviate from zoning requirements. A variance allows property owners to deviate from zoning requirements due to unique hardships. It provides flexibility while maintaining the overall zoning framework. How does Missouri law typically address non-conforming uses in zoning? Is it A, immediate cessation of use, B, mandatory modification to comply, C, conversion to a conforming use, or D, continuation until abandoned or altered? The answer is D, continuation until abandoned or altered. Non-conforming uses are typically allowed to continue under Missouri law, even if they don't comply with current zoning, unless they are abandoned or significantly altered. Condominiums and HOAs. In Missouri, who is typically responsible for maintaining the common areas in a condominium complex? Is it A, the condominium association, B, individual unit owners, C, the local government, or D, a third-party property management company? The answer is A, the condominium association. In Missouri, the condominium association is responsible for maintaining common areas. This includes tasks like landscaping, pool maintenance, and repairs, which are funded by association fees paid by unit owners. What is the primary purpose of a homeowners association in Missouri? Is it A, to increase property taxes, B, to enforce community rules and maintain property values, C, to provide legal advice to homeowners, or D, to manage individual home sales? The answer is B, to enforce community rules and maintain property values. An HOA enforces community rules and maintains property values by managing common areas and ensuring compliance with the community's covenants, conditions, and restrictions, CC&Rs. Which of the following is not typically covered by monthly HOA fees in Missouri? Is it A, landscaping of common areas, B, insurance for communal property, C, utilities for common amenities, or D, personal property insurance? The answer is D, personal property insurance. HOA fees generally cover maintenance of common areas, insurance for communal property, and sometimes utilities. Fees typically do not cover personal property insurance, which is the homeowner's responsibility. In Missouri, what document typically outlines the rules and regulations that condominium owners must follow? Is it A, the property deed, B, the purchase agreement, C, the declaration of covenants, conditions, and restrictions, CC&Rs, or D, the bylaws of the local government? The answer is C, the declaration of covenants, conditions, and restrictions, CC&Rs. The Declaration of Covenants, Conditions, and Restrictions, CC&Rs, outlines the rules and guidelines for owners in a condominium complex, including restrictions on property use and maintenance obligations. Environmental issues in floodplains. Which of the following is true about floodplain management in Missouri? Is it A, floodplain management is solely a federal responsibility, B, floodplain management only applies to urban areas, C, floodplain management aims to reduce flood damage through regulations, or D, floodplain management does not impact property insurance rates? The answer is C, floodplain management aims to reduce flood damage through regulations. Floodplain management in Missouri involves regulations to minimize flood damage by controlling development in flood-prone areas, ensuring safety, and reducing potential property damage. What is the primary purpose of the Missouri Department of Natural Resources regarding land use? Is it A, to protect and preserve natural resources, B, to promote unrestricted land development, C, to increase industrial land use, or D, to manage federal land policies? The answer is A, to protect and preserve natural resources. The Missouri Department of Natural Resources aims to protect and preserve the state's natural resources, ensuring sustainable land use and environmental protection through regulations and initiatives. How does Missouri law address environmental issues in property transactions? Is it A, sellers are not required to disclose environmental hazards, B, sellers must disclose known environmental hazards, C, environmental issues are only addressed at closing, or D, buyers must waive rights to environmental disclosures? The answer is B, sellers must disclose known environmental hazards. Missouri law requires sellers to disclose known environmental hazards, ensuring buyers are informed of potential risks and liabilities associated with the property. What is the role of zoning laws in Missouri land use? Is it A, Zoning laws are optional guidelines. B. Zoning laws only apply to agricultural land. C. Zoning laws are used to increase tax revenue. Or D. Zoning laws designate specific land uses. The answer is D. Zoning laws designate specific land uses. Zoning laws in Missouri designate specific land uses, helping to organize urban development, protect property values, and ensure compatible land uses in different areas. Let's continue with a review of Missouri agency law and ethics. Agency relationship laws. What is the primary duty of a real estate agent under Missouri agency law when representing a buyer? Is it A. Act in the buyer's best interest? B. Act in the seller's best interest? C. Ensure the seller gets the highest price? Or D. Provide legal advice to the buyer? The answer is A. Act in the buyer's best interest. In Missouri, a real estate agent's primary duty when representing a buyer is to act in the buyer's best interest, ensuring loyalty and confidentiality while providing accurate information and guidance. Under Missouri law, which of the following is not a fiduciary duty of a real estate agent? Is it A. B. Disclosure. C. Setting commission rates. Or D. Confidentiality? The answer is C. Setting commission rates. The fiduciary duties of a real estate agent in Missouri include loyalty, obedience, disclosure, confidentiality, accounting, and reasonable care. These duties ensure the agent acts in the client's best interest. What is the effect of dual agency under Missouri real estate law? Is it A. It is not allowed under any circumstances? B. It automatically terminates the agency relationship? C. It allows the agent to prioritize one party's interests? Or D. It requires full disclosure and written consent? The answer is D. It requires full disclosure and written consent. Dual agency occurs when an agent represents both the buyer and the seller in a transaction. Missouri law requires full disclosure and written consent from both parties to avoid conflicts of interest. In Missouri, when is an agency relationship typically established in a real estate transaction? Is it A. When the buyer views the first property? B. When a written agreement is signed? C. When the buyer makes an offer? Or D. When the agent receives a commission? The answer is B. When a written agreement is signed. An agency relationship in Missouri is typically established when a written agreement is signed, outlining the duties and responsibilities of the agent and the client, ensuring clarity and legal compliance. Fiduciary duties and client representation. Which of the following is a fiduciary duty owed by an agent to their client under Missouri agency law? Is it A. Independence? B. Loyalty? C. Confidentiality? Or D. Transparency? The answer is B. Loyalty is a fiduciary duty requiring agents to act in the best interests of their clients, avoiding conflicts of interest. It ensures clients' interests are prioritized over the agent's personal gains. In Missouri, what is the primary duty of an agent when representing a client in a real estate transaction? Is it A. Act in the best interests of the client? B. Maximize their commission? C. Ensure a quick sale? Or D. Maintain neutrality? The answer is A. Act in the best interests of the client. The primary duty is to act in the best interests of the client, ensuring their needs are met, and providing honest and fair representation throughout the transaction. What fiduciary duty requires an agent to disclose all material facts to their client in Missouri? Is it A. Obedience? B. Confidentiality? C. Disclosure? Or D. Care? The answer is C. Disclosure. Disclosure is a fiduciary duty obligating agents to inform clients of all material facts that could affect their decision-making in a transaction. How should an agent handle a conflict of interest according to Missouri fiduciary duties? Is it A, ignore the conflict, B, minimize the conflict, C, proceed without disclosure, or D, disclose and obtain consent? The answer is D, disclose and obtain consent. Agents must fully disclose any conflicts of interest to their clients and obtain informed consent, ensuring transparency and maintaining trust in the agency relationship.
Notice the code in the corner? When you're stumped by a question, enter it at birdsey.ai for immediate help. Enjoy complimentary study sessions and access to hundreds of additional questions to help you pass your exam with confidence.
Missouri Ethics Guidelines and Enforcement. What is the primary purpose of the Missouri Ethics Guidelines in real estate practice? Is it A, to increase property sales, B, to regulate commission rates, C, to promote integrity and transparency, or D, to establish licensing requirements? The answer is C, to promote integrity and transparency. The Missouri Ethics Guidelines ensure that real estate professionals act with integrity, fairness, and transparency, fostering trust and protecting public interest in real estate transactions. Which body is responsible for enforcing Missouri's real estate ethics guidelines? Is it A, National Association of Realtors, B, Missouri Real Estate Commission, C, Local Chamber of Commerce, or D, Federal Trade Commission? The answer is B, Missouri Real Estate Commission. The Missouri Real Estate Commission enforces ethical standards, ensuring compliance through investigations and disciplinary actions when necessary. What is a potential consequence for a real estate agent found in violation of Missouri's ethics guidelines? Is it A, license suspension, B, increased commission rates, C, mandatory property sales, or D, public apology? The answer is A, license suspension. Violations can lead to license suspension or revocation, impacting the agent's ability to legally conduct real estate transactions in Missouri. How often must Missouri real estate agents complete ethics training to maintain their license? Is it A, annually, B, every 3 years, C, every 5 years, or D, every 2 years? The answer is D, every 2 years. Missouri real estate agents are required to complete continuing education, including ethics training, every 2 years to ensure ongoing compliance with current ethical standards. In Missouri, which of the following actions is considered unethical under the Real Estate Ethics Guidelines? Is it A, offering competitive commission rates, B, misrepresenting property details, C, advertising through social media, or D, negotiating contract terms? The answer is B, misrepresenting property details. Misrepresentation of property details is unethical as it misleads clients and undermines trust in real estate professionals, violating the principles of honesty and transparency. Let's continue with Missouri property valuation. Basic principles of property valuation. What is the primary purpose of property valuation in Missouri? Is it A, to determine market value for tax assessment and sales, B, to establish historical significance, C, to predict future market trends, or D, to calculate depreciation? The answer is A, to determine market value for tax assessment and sales. Property valuation in Missouri primarily aims to determine the market value for tax assessment, sales, and financing purposes. Accurate valuations ensure fair property tax distribution and informed real estate transactions. Which principle of property valuation states that the value of a property is influenced by the cost to build a similar property? Is it A, principle of anticipation, B, principle of substitution, C, principle of contribution, or D, principle of highest and best use? The answer is B, Principle of substitution. The principle of substitution asserts that a property's value is determined by the cost of acquiring an equally desirable substitute property. This principle underpins the cost and sales comparison approaches. Which factor is not directly considered in the principle of highest and best use? Is it A, legal permissibility, B, financial feasibility, C, physical possibility, or D, historical significance? The answer is D, historical significance. The principle of highest and best use evaluates a property's most profitable legal and feasible use. A property's historical significance is not a direct consideration unless it affects legal constraints or market demand. How does the principle of contribution affect property valuation in Missouri? Is it A, by setting the maximum price a buyer will pay, B, by determining the property's historical value, C, by assessing the value added by property improvements, or D, by estimating future development potential? The answer is C, by assessing the value added by property improvements. The principle of contribution states that the value of any component of a property is measured by its contribution to the overall value. This helps determine the impact of improvements on property value. In Missouri property valuation, which method is most likely used when valuing a property with no comparable sales data? Is it A, income approach, B, sales comparison approach, C, market analysis approach, or D, cost approach? The answer is D, cost approach. The cost approach is typically used when there are no comparable sales data, as it estimates value based on the cost to replace or reproduce the property minus depreciation. Sales comparison cost and income approaches. What is the primary purpose of the sales comparison approach in Missouri property valuation? Is it A, to determine the cost of construction, B, to calculate potential rental income, C, to estimate market value based on comparable sales, or D, to assess depreciation? The answer is C, to estimate market value based on comparable sales. The sales comparison approach aims to estimate the market value of a property by comparing it with recently sold properties with similar characteristics, ensuring an accurate reflection of market conditions. In the cost approach, what component accounts for the loss of value due to age or wear and tear? Is it A, land value, B, depreciation, C, replacement cost, or D, comparative market analysis? The answer is B, depreciation. Depreciation accounts for the decrease in a property's value due to factors like age, wear and tear, or functional obsolescence, which is crucial in the cost approach. Which method is most suitable for valuing a commercial property with stable rental income in Missouri? Is it A, sales comparison approach, B, cost approach, C, market analysis, or D, income approach? The answer is D, income approach. The income approach is ideal for valuing income-producing properties like commercial real estate by capitalizing its expected income, reflecting its investment value. How does the sales comparison approach adjust for differences between the subject property and comparables? Is it A, by making adjustments to the sale prices of comparables, B, by averaging the sale prices of comparables without adjustment, C, by using the highest sale price of comparables, or D, by considering only properties sold within the last month? The answer is A, by making adjustments to the sale prices of comparables. Adjustments are made to account for differences in features, location, and other factors to ensure comparability, providing a more accurate valuation.
Don't forget to comment below with your tips, challenges, and thoughts on exam preparation. Your experiences can make a big difference for others.
Now let's review Missouri real estate financing. Mortgage loans and financing options. What is the primary function of a deed of trust in a Missouri mortgage loan? Is it A, to transfer ownership of the property to the lender? B, to serve as a security instrument for the loan? C, to determine the interest rate of the loan? Or D, to calculate property taxes? The answer is B, to serve as a security instrument for the loan. A deed of trust in Missouri serves as a security instrument, allowing the property to be used as collateral for the loan. It involves three parties: the borrower, lender, and trustee. Which of the following is a characteristic of an adjustable rate mortgage in Missouri? Is it A, the interest rate remains fixed for the entire term? B, the loan is exclusively for first-time homebuyers? C, the interest rate can change periodically based on an index? Or D, the borrower pays only interest for the first 5 years? The answer is C. The interest rate can change periodically based on an index. An ARM in Missouri features an interest rate that changes periodically based on an index, which can result in fluctuating monthly payments depending on market conditions. What is the purpose of private mortgage insurance in Missouri? Is it A, to protect lenders from borrower default? B, to lower the borrower's interest rate? C, to eliminate the need for a down payment? Or D, to reduce property taxes? The answer is A, to protect lenders from borrower default. PMI protects lenders against borrower default on loans with low down payments. It allows borrowers to purchase homes with less than 20% down, reducing lender risk. In Missouri, what is a key benefit of a VA loan for eligible veterans? Is it A, guaranteed fixed interest rate? B, elimination of property taxes? C, subsidized closing costs? Or D, no down payment requirement? The answer is D, no down payment requirement. VA loans offer eligible veterans the benefit of purchasing a home without a down payment, which can significantly reduce upfront costs and make homeownership more accessible. Loan applications and approval processes. What is a common requirement for loan approval in Missouri? Is it A, a minimum of 20% down payment? B, proof of citizenship? C, a satisfactory credit score? Or D, a cosigner? The answer is C, a satisfactory credit score. A credit score is a crucial factor in loan approval as it indicates the borrower's creditworthiness. Lenders in Missouri typically require a satisfactory credit score to assess the risk of lending. Which document typically initiates the loan application process in Missouri? Is it A, loan estimate? B, loan application form? C, closing disclosure? Or D, title insurance? The answer is B, loan application form. The loan application form, often referred to as the Uniform Residential Loan Application, is the starting point for obtaining a mortgage. It collects essential information about the borrower and the property. How does the debt-to-income ratio affect loan approval in Missouri? Is it A, it indicates the borrower's ability to manage monthly payments? B, it represents the total amount of debt a borrower has? C, it determines the interest rate offered by the lender? Or D, it is used to calculate the loan's closing costs? The answer is A, it indicates the borrower's ability to manage monthly payments. The debt-to-income ratio measures a borrower's ability to manage monthly payments and repay debts. A lower ratio indicates better financial health, making loan approval more likely. What role does an appraisal play in the loan approval process in Missouri? Is it A, it verifies the borrower's employment status? B, it determines the loan's interest rate? C, it assesses the property's market value? Or D, it is used to finalize the loan terms? The answer is C, it assesses the property's market value. An appraisal assesses a property's market value to ensure it supports the mortgage amount. Lenders require this to protect their investment and prevent lending more than the property's worth.
If you're finding this helpful, please take a minute to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, useful tips, and complimentary study sessions with Birdsey.
Missouri Mortgage Disclosure Requirements. What is the primary purpose of the Missouri Mortgage Disclosure Requirements? Is it A, to increase mortgage interest rates, B, to ensure transparency and consumer protection, C, to simplify the loan application process, or D, to mandate lower down payments? The answer is B, to ensure transparency and consumer protection. The Missouri Mortgage Disclosure Requirements aim to ensure transparency and protect consumers by providing them with all necessary information about the mortgage terms before they commit. Which document must lenders provide to borrowers to comply with Missouri's mortgage disclosure laws? Is it A, closing disclosure, B, good faith estimate, C, loan estimate, or D, truth in lending statement? The answer is C, loan estimate. Lenders must provide a loan estimate, which outlines key terms and costs of the mortgage, ensuring borrowers understand their financial obligations before proceeding. When must the loan estimate be provided to the borrower under Missouri regulations? Is it A, within 3 business days after application, B, at the time of closing, C, 1 week after application, or D, after the loan is approved? The answer is A, within 3 business days after application. The loan estimate must be provided within 3 business days after the lender receives the borrower's loan application, ensuring timely access to key loan information. How does the Missouri Mortgage Disclosure Requirements impact adjustable rate mortgages? Is it A, they limit the interest rate changes, B, they eliminate the use of ARMs, C, they set fixed rates for ARMs, or D, they require disclosure of rate change terms? The answer is D, they require disclosure of rate change terms. Missouri's disclosure requirements mandate clear disclosure of how and when interest rates may change in ARMs to ensure borrowers understand potential future payment changes. Missouri-specific loan programs. Which Missouri-specific loan program is designed to assist first-time homebuyers with down payment and closing cost assistance? Is it A, MHDC First Place Loan Program, B, Loan Program, C, VA Loan Program, or D, USDA Rural Development Loan? The answer is A, MA First Place Loan Program. The Missouri Housing Development Commission First Place Loan Program offers first-time homebuyers down payment and closing cost assistance to make homeownership more accessible in Missouri. What is the primary benefit of the Missouri Linked Deposit Program for borrowers? Is it A, increased loan limits, B, reduced interest rates, C, extended loan terms, or D, no down payment requirement? The answer is B, reduced interest rates. The Missouri Linked Deposit Program offers reduced interest rates on loans by linking state funds to local banks, which then pass these savings to borrowers, fostering economic growth. Which Missouri program offers assistance to qualified veterans purchasing a home? Is it A, Missouri First-Time Homebuyer Program, B, Missouri Housing Trust Fund, C, Missouri Veterans Home Purchase Program, or D, Missouri Rural Housing Program? The answer is C, Missouri Veterans Home Purchase Program. The Missouri Veterans Home Purchase Program provides veterans with home purchase assistance, ensuring they have access to affordable housing options tailored to their needs. How does the Missouri Housing Trust Fund support low-income families? Is it A, by offering tax credits, B, by subsidizing mortgage interest rates, C. By offering zero-interest loans to all buyers. Or D. By providing grants and loans for affordable housing. The answer is D. By providing grants and loans for affordable housing. The Missouri Housing Trust Fund supports low-income families by providing grants and loans to develop affordable housing, thereby addressing the housing needs of underserved populations in Missouri. Missouri Housing Development Commission. What is the primary purpose of the Missouri Housing Development Commission? Is it A. to provide financing for affordable housing in Missouri? B. to regulate real estate agents in Missouri? C. to manage public transportation systems in Missouri? Or D. to oversee Missouri's environmental protection efforts? The answer is A. to provide financing for affordable housing in Missouri. The MHDC's primary purpose is to provide financing for affordable housing in Missouri. It aims to assist in the development and preservation of affordable housing, making it accessible to low-income residents. Which type of housing project is most likely to receive funding from the MHDC? Is it A. luxury condominiums, B. low-income housing developments, C. commercial office spaces, or D. high-end retail centers? The answer is B. low-income housing developments. The MHDC primarily funds projects that provide affordable housing to low-income families. These projects are crucial in addressing housing shortages and ensuring access to safe, affordable living conditions. How does the MHDC assist first-time homebuyers in Missouri? Is it A. by providing free home insurance, B. by offering free home inspection services, C. by offering down payment assistance, or D. by eliminating property taxes for the first year? The answer is C. by offering down payment assistance. The MHDC offers programs such as down payment assistance and low-interest loans to help first-time homebuyers. These initiatives are designed to make homeownership more accessible and affordable. What is a key requirement for developers to qualify for MHDC funding? Is it A. projects must be located in urban areas, B. projects must be completed within 1 year, C. projects must include retail spaces, or D. projects must provide affordable housing options? The answer is D. Projects must provide affordable housing options. Developers must demonstrate that their projects will provide affordable housing options. This requirement ensures that MHDC funding is used to address housing affordability issues. Now, we'll test your understanding of Missouri disclosure requirements and forms. Missouri-specific disclosure requirements. Which of the following is a mandatory disclosure form required in Missouri real estate transactions? Is it A. seller's disclosure statement, B. environmental impact report, C. HOA regulations summary, or D. property survey report? The answer is A. seller's disclosure statement. The seller's disclosure statement is mandatory in Missouri to inform potential buyers of any known defects in the property. It helps ensure transparency and protect both parties in the transaction. What is the primary purpose of the Missouri seller's disclosure statement? Is it A. to provide a valuation of the property, B. to disclose known property defects, C. to outline the neighborhood amenities, or D. to verify the property's legal boundaries? The answer is B. to disclose known property defects. The primary purpose is to inform buyers about any known issues with the property, ensuring informed decision-making and reducing the risk of post-sale disputes. In Missouri, which party is primarily responsible for completing the seller's disclosure statement? Is it A. the buyer, B. the real estate agent, C. the seller, or D. the home inspector? The answer is C. the seller. The seller is responsible for completing the disclosure statement as they have the most knowledge about the property's condition and any known defects. How often must the Missouri seller's disclosure statement be updated during a transaction? Is it A, once at the beginning of the listing, B, twice at listing and before closing, C, only if requested by the buyer, or D, whenever new information about the property arises? The answer is D. Whenever new information about the property arises, the seller must update the disclosure if new information arises that affects the property's condition, ensuring that the buyer has the most accurate information before closing. Commonly used Missouri forms. Which Missouri form is typically used to disclose a property's condition to potential buyers? Is it A, buyer's agency agreement, B, listing agreement, C, seller's disclosure statement, or D, lead-based paint disclosure? The answer is C, seller's disclosure statement. The seller's disclosure statement is a standard form used in Missouri to inform potential buyers about known issues with the property, ensuring transparency in the real estate transaction. What is the primary purpose of the Missouri lead-based paint disclosure form? Is it A, to outline the financing terms, B, to disclose potential lead paint hazards, C, to verify the property's square footage, or D, to establish agency representation? The answer is B, to disclose potential lead paint hazards. The lead-based paint disclosure form is used to inform buyers or tenants of potential lead paint hazards in properties built before 1978, ensuring compliance with federal regulations. In Missouri, which form is used to establish a buyer's agency relationship? Is it A, buyer's agency agreement, B, seller's disclosure statement, C, dual agency consent, or D, listing agreement? The answer is A, buyer's agency agreement. The buyer's agency agreement form is used in Missouri to formally establish the relationship between a buyer and their real estate agent, detailing duties and compensation. What information is typically included in a Missouri listing agreement? Is it A, buyer's financial details, B, lead-based paint hazards, C, agency disclosure, or D, listing price and commission? The answer is D, listing price and commission. A Missouri listing agreement includes details on the listing price, agent commission, property description, and terms of the listing duration, establishing the seller-agent relationship. Specific procedures for transactions. What is the primary purpose of the Missouri seller's disclosure statement in real estate transactions? Is it A, to set the listing price of the property, B, to disclose known property defects to potential buyers, C, to negotiate the commission rate with the real estate agent, or D, to finalize the closing date of the transaction? The answer is B, to disclose known property defects to potential buyers. The Missouri seller's disclosure statement is designed to inform potential buyers of any known defects or issues with the property, ensuring transparency and reducing the risk of legal disputes. Which party is responsible for providing the Missouri lead-based paint disclosure in transactions involving properties built before 1978? Is it A, the seller or landlord, B, the buyer or tenant, C, the real estate agent, or D, the home inspector? The answer is A, the seller or landlord. The seller or landlord must provide the lead-based paint disclosure to inform buyers or tenants of potential lead hazards, complying with federal and state regulations. In a Missouri real estate transaction, when must the disclosure of representation be provided to the buyer? Is it A, after the contract is signed, B, during the home inspection, C, before any substantive contact, or D, at the closing meeting? The answer is C, before any substantive contact. The disclosure of representation must be given at the earliest practicable opportunity, typically before any substantive contact, to clarify the agent's role and avoid conflicts of interest. What is required from a seller when completing the Missouri Residential Property Disclosure Form? Is it A, a detailed history of past owners, B, an appraisal report of the property, C, a list of preferred contractors, or D, accurate information about property defects? The answer is D, accurate information about property defects. Sellers must provide truthful information about the property's condition, including any known defects, to ensure buyers are fully informed and can make educated purchasing decisions.
Thanks for joining us today. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, tips, and tricks. And don't forget to visit birdsey.ai for complimentary study sessions with Birdsey, your AI-powered study partner.